Hi, today's video we are going to start looking at the reports that are available in the Starfront program, and today's video we will be covering the costing reports. So we have done our costing. You may remember that the last thing we did was we added our factory costs and our installation costs into our quotation. Those are our factory costs, those are installation costs. Now we're going to have a look at the various reports that are available in the Starfront program. So we go to the reports menu and we're going to look at the first four reports here, which are our four costing reports. Starting off with the contract costing report, you select the contract that you want to cost, and this is the report that is produced. So what this report does, it's obviously intended for internal use only, is it gives you the financial settings that you used when you costed this job. For example, we had wastage of our profiles and our finishing and our components set at 10%. Our glazing wastage is a rand value. We have our suppliers discounts of 25% each on the profile and the finishes, 15% on the components, nothing on the glass because we put our net prices in on the glass. We had a 3% consumables factor. We didn't put any packaging costs in. So on the right hand side here, it adds everything up, and our total material costs on this job are 15,428 Rand. Then if we scroll down a little bit, here are our factory costs. Remember, we had 38.4 hours of factory labor. Our labor rate is 47.96 Rand per hour. That is the rate we determined from the Excel spreadsheets, which gives us 1,841 Rand and 46 cents. Our factory overheads we determined to be 237%, which is 4,364 Rand and 26 cents. Therefore, our total factory costs are 6,205 Rand and 72 cents. Our installation labor, remember we added labor for each window and door that had to be installed. So those total 16 hours at a labor rate of 84.35 Rand per hour, also determined from the Excel spreadsheet. Our installation overheads from the Excel spreadsheet are 117%. And our perimeter cost, we haven't put any perimeter cost in. Perimeter cost will be described in a future video for you. So that gives us our labor for our installation, our overheads for our installation, and our total installation costs 2,928 Rand and 63 cents. Then additional costs, we'd set that back to zero, so there are no additional costs. Therefore, the total cost on this project, 24,562 Rand and 35 cents. Our GP is 25%, that was the markup that we set, because now we have factory labor and installation labor. 6140.59 gives us a subtotal of 3702.94. Net profit of 6140.59 because there's no discounts offered. Scaffolding cost, we added an extra 1,500 Rand. That's contract value ex VAT 32,202.94. Contract value including VAT 37,033.38. So that is a report. Just what I suggest you do is that you print and you file this report with your paperwork on every contract, just so that you've got a permanent record of how that particular job was costed. Alright, so that was our first report. On the detailed costing, you asked which contract. Obviously we're working on contract sample 01, and which reference. So I can either blank that out, there it says blank for all, and do a detailed costing of that entire job, or I can just look for a specific design. So let's just go to window number 3 on this design and have a look at a detailed costing for window number 3. Okay, so let it process that for us. So this is your detailed costing report for contract sample 01, which was the sample contract for training video number 1. The type reference is W03, window 3. It's a Crealco Soft 28 window. There was one of these windows Frame finish, DAP 055P, that's our white powder coating, wind load of 1000 pascals. Then what the program does is it breaks down the various material that is required to make that window. So our formal clear float glass, we have a total of 1.355 square meters. Okay, and that then gives you a glass cost. You'll see there are 4 columns to the right here. It'll either be a section cost, a glass cost, a component cost, or a finish cost. Then I have my countersunk rivets, 24 of them, which then makes a component cost. I have my screws for my handles, my glass setting blocks, my 8x30 screws to put the mullions in, my orange butterfly gasket, my fin pile for around the sashes, and my red wedge gasket, which is for 4mm glass. So each of those items you will see will have a corresponding component cost. Including the wedgeless handle, there's a left-hand handle, there's a right-hand handle. Remember, this was the window with the 2 side-hung sashes and the fixed pane in the middle. Then you've got your Swift 28 corner cleats, your fixing lugs, your glazing bar packers to go underneath your mullions, and then your friction stay. It's automatically determined that the 400mm friction stay is the right friction stay for those particular sashes. It's also determined that you must use the side-hung friction stay. So there's 2 pairs of friction stays. So all of those items are coming under component cost. And then finally we have our various profiles. Our Swift 28 bead, 13mm gap, we've got a total of 8.205 meters. Our Swift 28mm equal leg frame, total of 5.6 meters. Our tubular sash, 5.833 meters. And our mullion, 1.682 meters. And those then all end up with a section cost. So if you total the total for the sections, the total for the glass, the total for the components, and the total for the finishing, that is then your total material costs on that job. Sorry, on that particular design in that job. If I did it, if I put blank for the reference and I did all of them, then I would get the total for the job. So this window, my total costs are 829 Rand and 88 cents. Ex VAT, with VAT 954.36. So anything that is not included on this report, I don't see any silicone, I don't see any protective tape, I don't see any cleaning solvents, drill bits, saw blades, things like that. Anything else which is consumed in the process of manufacturing this window will be considered to be consumable. And remember, we had our 3% figure in for our consumables. So that's our detailed costing report. Our next report is an itemized rates. Now, you can only print your itemized rates if you have done a costing already on this contract. So I go to my itemized rates, and I'm doing it for this entire contract. So what this is doing for us, let's start at the bottom. The total value of this contract was 37,033 Rand and 38 cents. That was including VAT. There was the VAT, there was our 1,500 Rand scaffolding cost, there was our subtotal of 30,702. And now what the program is going to do is it's going to back calculate and it's going to work out a unit price for each of these different designs that you've done on this particular contract. And in such a way that if you add all of those unit costs together, it will come out at the total contract value. So at least now we have an accurate representation. Remember, our window number 1 was just a simple window with a single sash. You can see that is working out cheaper than the window with 2 sashes. It's working out cheaper than the double side hung. So 38 was the small window, we changed the glass on it, and the final one was the window with the double sashes on both sides. So you can see your pricing is now accurate and proportional to the value that was determined, this 30,702 Rand and 94 cents. It's a process you would unlikely do manually in terms of calculate back to what is your unit price for each item. But Starfront does that automatically for you, and you have that as your itemized rates report. Okay, let's close that one. And then the final report that we can produce is a quote. Now I'm going to choose the quote. I'm not going to choose any of these options at the moment. I'm just going to take the straightforward quote. You see, the first thing it does is it prepares your graphics for you. So now here is a quotation for Mrs. Jones. Remember, we made her private. I did not put any address details in. If I put the address details in, they would be appearing here. The reference on this contract is sample 01. Its quote number is 17635. Quoted on the 11th of the 2nd, 2020. Validity is 30 days. Terms COD. The estimator, that was part of the initial contract screen where we entered this information. I put my initials in SML. So now what it does is it gives you very similar information. In fact, the same information that we see on our itemized rates. The only difference is that now we will include a drawing of that particular item. So you can see door number 3 was a Vistafold sliding door designed at 1000 pascals in DAP 055, which is white gloss. Obviously your client won't necessarily know what DAP 055 is. Then there's a place where you can store the location. I'll show you where you can set that location. The design passed all the tests. There are no physical limitations on this design. In other words, we're not restricted to internal only. I can fill in the comments. Warnings would be if I've exceeded any limitations, such as a sash limitation or a hardware limitation on this design. There's a note that the image is viewed as from outside, so Mrs. Jones knows where you are viewing that item from, that door. And then it shows you that this green color is 6.38 PVB normal strength glass. If we scroll down to our Clip 44 shop front, you will see reference SF1, Clip 44 shop front, 11,751 Rand and 15 cents. Here I've got two different glass. I've got the green, which is at the bottom, which was my laminated safety glass. And then remember, we changed the glass to a blue clear mill float at the top, and I have the same information. There's my Krelco Swift 28 window. That was that first window, the cheapest window. Then your next window, window number 2, is 1,797 Rand. Window number 3, that is the one that we looked at the detailed costing on, is 228269. Window number 4 was a small window where we changed it to stipulite glass. And then the final page has got window number 5. So I can see here that the subtotal is there, my 30,702 Rand and 94 cents, plus my 1,500 Rand scaffolding cost. Total for the VAT, 4,830.44. Total contract value, 37,033 and 38 cents. So it is giving you the same information. It is just representing it in a more formalized method that you can use to now present a formal quote to your customer. And there's a couple of things that you can do on this quote. First of all, and to show you the options, I'm going to go to my configure menu. I'm going to go to my user configuration, and I'm going to go to my quote settings. If you watch the video on the configuration menu, you will know exactly what can be done here. But one of the things that I can do, for example, is set my terms and conditions. So I can open up a document. Let's just find a document. Here's my terms and conditions. I can edit those terms and conditions. So the last time we did this, we put a bit of fancy colors and things like that. So let's just make it no color, and let's make this font here just black. So these would be our terms and conditions, and you can see here I put a whole lot of extra information just to use up more pages, just to show you this document can be multiple pages. So I'm going to drop that. Okay, it says here you can edit this document to set your own terms and conditions. So that can be a multi-page document that you use to convey your terms and conditions on this contract over to your customer. Once you save that document, and it just uses normal Microsoft Word to edit it, in the bottom here, it will have the path and the name of that particular document. So now when I print this quotation, tell me to it'll save those changes. So now we go to reports, quotation. Okay, it'll prepare our graphics for us again. And now you'll see if we go to the last page, the bottom of my last page, I have my terms and conditions. And you can change font sizes, font colors, shading, you can do whatever you want for those terms and conditions. So that's a one customization that you can do on your quote report. The other thing you can do, again, if we go to our configure menu, we go to our user configuration, our quote settings, is we can actually include a letterhead at the top of that quote. Once again, watch the video on configure menu if you want to know more on how to do this. But for now, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to set a sample letterhead. Now when I look at my quote, you'll see at the top of my quotation, I now have my letterhead. So you can manipulate and you can format this quote in a way that suits you to present something professional to your client on this job. Okay, just the last thing I want to show you is where to go and set those comments. So if you go back into your design, all right, let's go and look at that window number 3 that we were looking at. When you've got this window number 3 on the screen, this blue I button, which is design options, if you click on that button, you can specify location. So let's say this was for bedroom number 3, and the comment can be suitable for blinds. I haven't got heavy duty mullions in this particular design. You can put whatever comment. I just want to show you what can be changed. Now when you go and have a look at your quotes on this job, we go to our window number 3, you'll see it says suitable, excuse the spelling, for blinds, and location bedroom 3. So you can fill in that additional information window by window and just make your quotes a little bit more presentable for Mrs. Jones at the end of the day. Just quickly, I want to go through, if we take any one of these options, I'm going to just take our contract report. I just want to go through the different options that are available to you. Generally, that covers all the reports. If we look at these first 4 icons at the top, these are just different views. So I can click on the first one, it will show me the whole page as a view. I can click on the next icon, which is zoom to the full width. So my width will fit in on the screen and I can scroll vertically. My next one is to zoom to a scale of 100%. So it works out very close to the same as the full page. And then the final one is you can set your zoom. So I want to set a 70% zoom, or I want to set 150% zoom. So that's just to control your view. This panel on the left hand side is your thumbnails. So if I've got a report with multiple pages, I could click on that thumbnail and I could pick up those different reports. These blue arrows are to navigate through the different pages. So that would be go to the first page, go to the previous page, go to the next page, go to the last page. This icon here, if I've got a report which is 50 pages long and I want to go to a specific page, I can click on that, I can say enter page number, and I can go to that page. All right, then I've got a button which is copy page to clipboard. I can just push copy and it'll copy that information to the clipboard. I can now go and paste it into any software that I'm currently working with. The next button is my printer setup. So here I can choose which printer I want to print to. it will only physically print when you push that next button along, which is the print icon. Once you click that, it will send it to your printer. One of the things I do suggest you do is that you install yourself a PDF print driver, a high resolution PDF print driver. I use a program called Easy PDF Printer 6, which is the name of the program. And what that will allow you to do is it will allow you to, now when I click on print, it will ask me what is the file name where I want to save this printout to. Okay, so that was the save to PDF by installing a PDF driver. Then I've got a load report, so it allows you to save a report in its own format and then load it. First, let's have a look at the save report icon. This save report will allow you to save your report to any of a whole range of standard formats. PDF documents, a proprietary quick reports format, that's its own format, a text document, a CSV file, a PDF, an Excel file, a real text format, and a Windows Meta file. So those are a whole lot of standard formats that you can export on. The one which is going to be very convenient for you is to choose a CSV or an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, that will allow you to take any report that you can access in Starfront and take it into Excel. So if I choose a CSV, again, it's going to put it onto my desktop, and I'm going to choose, let's just call this again test 1. Now, if I go to my desktop, I will have a file called test1.csv, and just open that in Excel, and there you'll see there's that whole report saved in an Excel document. You will need to clean this report up a little bit. You'll need to go in and get rid of some unnecessary columns. Unfortunately, the Excel doesn't import that cleanly, but it is relatively simple to go in, clean up the unnecessary columns and access that information. One of the reports that people use quite a bit is they utilize the itemized rates report, and they save that as Excel. So let me just show you that. If I go and print the itemized rates report, and I choose sample 1, that is a report which now gives me the breakdown of the individual items on this quote. I choose save. I say save it as an Excel file, and I'm going to call this item 1. Now if I go to my desktop, I'll have an Excel file called item 1, and open that, and there's my itemized rates. So I can use that for quoting, I can use that for importing those prices into Pastel, whatever I want to do with that item. So those are just the general options that are available to you when you've got a report open in the Starfront program. Let's go back to that sample 1. So if I had, under the save option, if I save it as this quick reports file format, so this, let's call this cost 1, then I could use that open button to open cost 1 report. So you can save an electronic version of all your reports if you want as well, and then your final icon is just to close that screen. Alright, so that covers all of the reports that are available to Starfront. It is on a superficial level. There will be a future video where we look in a bit more detail at the fine adjustments that can be made to the various reports. But that's enough to get you up and running and understand what are the standard reports available in the Starfront program. Once again, thank you for taking time to watch this video. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. We'll see each other again soon for another video. Bye-bye.